Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Soundbites for Immigration Success. We're so glad that you're with us today. We bring this series to you so you can get to know your fellow colleagues, to hear their story and challenges, and to hear their final takeaway piece of advice that might work for you. I have with me today Sanchit Ahuja. Hello, Sanchit. How are you?
I'm good, Monica. How about you?
I'm good. I guess I should introduce myself as well. My name is Monica O'Brien. I'm a licensed immigration consultant. I work for the association, the Professional Association CAPIC, and I am manager of education and stakeholder engagement. But Sanjit, I want to pose the questions to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you decided to become an immigration consultant.
So, my name is Sanchit Ahuja. The name of my business is Exeter's Immigration Services. I immigrated to Canada around 7 years ago. I started my immigration practice in 2021. Before that, I was a practicing lawyer from India, and I practiced for a year before immigrating to Canada. Then I started my LLM from Osgoode Hall Law School and completed it in 2019. And after that, I did my immigration course and started the immigration practice. My motivation was very simple, that I wanted to give the correct legal advice to people, because when I came to Canada, I was getting conflicting information about immigration, that how to immigrate in the right way, and there were like different opinions, and I was very confused. So that was my motivation, that I should be giving the right advice and educating people about immigration and everything, so that they have the right pathway to immigrate to Canada, get permanent residency or the temporary residency. And my company name is Exeter's Immigration, so I named the company based on that only, to get the correct legal advice.
Well, very interesting. So you're an immigrant yourself, so you can understand the journey, the same journey that your clients are going to make.
Exactly. So
Now, when you came to Canada, Sanjit, did you do your own case or did you have representation?
I started visiting lawyers to do my immigration case. But when I was getting conflicting information about everything, then I decided that I will be doing my own case only, since there were many conflicting information and I was very confused. It's very normal for an individual even right now, so that because people are giving different information, and they want that they should retain the client. So I did my own case and I was pretty successful.
Oh, well, good for you. So you did a little bit of research. I want to ask you about the name of your business. That's very interesting. It's called Exodus
Yeah,
Immigration. Why
yeah.
that title? What does that mean?
So I always get that question, that by Exeter's Immigration. So my it was based on my own journey, that I named the company on the fact that I wanted to help people. So it was Exit Us. So Exit Us, I wanted something that people should be able to transfer their temporary resident from temporary resident to permanent resident, and they would take my help. So Exit Us. So exit, it basically means exit with the help of us. So that's the thing, that I want to help people getting transferring their temporary resident status to permanent resident status. So hence the name.
Ah, well, very interesting. And what a great marketing tool for you to sort of break the ice with your clients when they say to you, what does your title of your business mean? And I'm not sure if you really did that as a strategic way to market yourself, but it's very clever.
Right. It took a lot of research. Yeah, it was a marketing tool. I read some books about marketing as well. Did some YouTube videos, that there should be something different. So when during COVID, I wanted to give the name to CICC, then it was like I wanted something unique. And the name was approved after like 3 attempts. So hence it took a little bit longer time. And it's a great marketing tool, to be honest.
Wow. So follow up to that. So it took you 3 attempts. So you must have submitted two other names prior to that.
Yeah, exactly. I submitted two prior names. It was based on my last name, but they didn't approve it because there were many immigration consultancy firms as well as lawyers who had the similar name, so they didn't get it approved. So it took me an year to get the name approved in my third attempt.
Wow, that's very interesting. So for those who are new out there and just going through this process, you can hear the story that Sanjit had. So Sanjit, thank you for sharing a little about who you are and your motivation to enter the practice. I guess this brings me to my next question. So you've been a practicing consultant for 2 years now?
It's my third year,
Or your
yes.
third year. So so you started at a different time. You started when it was COVID, and we were in lockdown, and you were probably, figuring out which way you were going to go and what you were going to do. But what has been your biggest challenge now, 3 years in? Like, where are you struggling in terms of, managing things, and how are you tackling that challenge?
So my biggest challenge is to scale up the business. See, there are the consultants have increased after COVID. We were like 8,000 to 10,000. Now we are reaching around 14 to 16,000. My figures might be wrong, but it's very hard to scale up the business since there are many people who have started practicing, and the clients are very limited. There has been an increase in the immigration from India, from Southeast Asia. India is there. India is a part of it. China is a part of it. Even from other countries like Dubai. But the thing is, it's very hard to scale up the business, and people are very hesitant that how will we scale the business? We can reach from 10 to 20, 20 to 30, but when we go from 30 to 100, that's the biggest challenge. Then your marketing skills are important, and you have to give them correct legal advice. Then only people would come. So my biggest challenge right now is scaling up the business because of the changing dynamics of the market as well. Inflation is there, everything is there, people are looking for jobs, people are losing jobs as well, and businesses are getting affected from it. So my biggest challenge right now is scaling up the business.
So for you, you've kept quite busy. Like you say, you've got a client base, and you've got I mean, you said it's easy to get up to 30, 40, 50 clients.
Right,
But if you wanted to go farther, it's really hard to get to that next level.
right,
So if you got to that next level, then also comes with the resources to support an expanded client base. So that would become your next challenge. So obviously, it seems like your goal is to scale the business. You want to get to the next level. Do you
right.
have in plan a place to have the resources to support
Yeah, exactly.
double the clients?
Yeah, exactly. So I am planning to hire a marketing team, hire more people so that I can cater to the clients, because being being single, we cannot do everything. We cannot cater to the clients, do the filing as well. So we need to hire help, and you need to hire the right person who is in sync with your things, that how to scale up the business. It's very hard to find good candidates right now. So what I am doing is conducting interviews and putting ads for hiring people so that I can cater to the clients. I know that with the increase of people, I will be facing challenges like catering to the clients. The application influx would be more, so I have to keep a check on everyone. But I'm ready for it. And people should be ready. If they want to increase the business, they have to take that pressure on, that you have to increase the business, the timings, the hours would be long, and they should be ready for it.
So sort of further to that, I mean, you recognize having the resources to support an expanded client base, but how do you continue to give that same level of service? That when you're a smaller practitioner and maybe you only have 20 clients on the go, and you can give them personalized service and make sure it's the same quality, how would a practitioner or you yourself continue to give that same quality and personalized service to an
What
expanded client base?
I have done some changes to my business. When I started initially, it was like I am doing everything, the client advice and everything. Now I have hired a personal assistant who helps me in the filing. She compiles all the documents and everything, and I do all the paperwork is done. I have to keep a check on everything, that everything is correct, and I upload it on the portal. What I have been doing is I have put some time limits to it. Then my client base is from India predominantly. So what I have done is I've kept some time like 1 to 4 for client appointments, and after that I'm not available. Then I concentrate on the filing. So it has helped me it has helped me scale up the business while keeping the quality of the advice as well. And my clients are happy that they are getting the correct advice and I'm getting the cases.
Well, good for you. So now, so you said for you, your challenges is getting to that next level.
Right.
So what, so are you struggling just in figuring out how to get to the next level, or you know how to get there? It's just you're finding because the market is more saturated with more consultants and other representatives, and with the depressed economy, you're just finding that's the biggest obstacle maybe now?
Yeah, now the biggest obstacle is the economy, and people are confused that whom to hire, whom to get correct legal advice. People are reaching out on Facebook, social media, and other people so that they can get the right advice. So I know how to scale up the business, but with these changing environment and more influx of consultant, it's getting difficult. But I am not losing hope since I've been in the business for almost 3 years now, and I've got the legal knowledge as well for almost like 6 to 7 years before that. So I'm using that knowledge and some marketing tools to expand the business, and I'm not getting scared, which normally a consultant, a new practitioner does. So the thing is, scaling is good. Everyone wants to scale, but you need to use the right tools as well.
Right, right, absolutely. And you have to know that your own comfort level, right?
Right.
It's an interesting conversation, and I've had this with some of my other contributors where you have to pay yourself, and obviously it's a business, but we also have lives. We also have people's lives in our hands, so it's sort of combining those two aspects. So do you see yourself as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, before my immigration practice, I have been an entrepreneur since I entered Canada. I had my own security company and staffing agency, so that experience helped me with dealing with people since it's very difficult. It's not difficult. It's very different in terms of clients in Canada and in India. So I had to change everything, my approach towards the clients. And being an entrepreneur before, it helped me in my immigration practice so that I could connect with the clients and help them with their problems.
Right. And I know I'm challenging you a little bit more than maybe I've done some of the others. So you talk about being ready to scale your business and take on that challenge. And I commend you because that's a risk. And a lot of entrepreneurs and immigration practitioners are not ready for that risk taking. But I want to ask a question to you. How can you differentiate yourself from your 13,000 other colleagues? Like you
So
say, people are making inquiries through social media. Why, how, how would you attract that person to maybe want to retain your services? And this would be good advice for somebody who's maybe listening today.
yeah, so what my differentiation is, my legal practice, which I've been doing. So whenever I get a query from someone, so my USB is very simple. I'm not offending anyone. So my USB is very simple. So I've done my master's, I've done the legal work. So I know what are the nuances of the law and how I can apply it. And I've dealt with difficult cases which the normal consultants were saying that we cannot take it and this will not happen. You will have to go back. Clients approached me and I got the cases done. So it's all about interpreting the law and how the law is there. Law is same for everyone, but we have to apply it to the situation. And if it goes through, the client would be happy. He would be giving you more references. So that's my differentiation. The client, if I get approached by a client that this consultant is not taking the case, I am a risk taker. I always take that. And me being me, I always tell the client that there is a risk, but we can take it. And I hope for the best. And I always give my 140% to every case.
Well, yeah, that's right. It's always 140% giving the effort. And at the end of the day, you counsel your client as to, possible outcomes. And the ultimate decision is up to the client whether to hire you. And we always have to give honest, authentic advice at the end of the day and lay it all out for our clients. So your advice there is just to really distinguish, to make to sort of make yourself attractive to your clients, is to sort of just to distinguish yourself and focus on the skills that you can bring to that
Right.
client base. So this brings me to my final question. And you've been doing this 3 years now. So what advice might you give to yourself, or did you wish you had known 3 years ago? Or what advice might you give to somebody who's just starting today?
So I have got a couple of advices. So first thing is you have to take that risk. You have to get out of that shell, that comfort zone to practice. If you cannot come out of that shell, you have to be a risk taker to succeed. Yes, sometimes it doesn't go through. I am aware of it. I have been in that situation as well, but I didn't lose hope. So for the people who are starting now, you have to take that risk, because nowadays the things are happening that people want to people are thinking whether we can do it part time or we should do it full time. I always in my small practice, 3 years of practice, I always get questions from the consultants as well, that what should we do and what is happening. So I always give them time, and everything, that I counsel them that this is the thing. So I would give the same advice to everyone watching, that take that risk, come out of that shell, and you will succeed for sure.
And we spoke about another point regarding this just before we went on air. And you talked about how you'll get phone calls quite regularly from immigration consultants who are struggling in finding information
Right.
or need input on something. And you were saying to me about research. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, sure. So, they whenever I get a call from clients, they just want from the consultant, sorry, they just want quick advice. They don't do the due diligence and everything. They just want quick advice, that how should they proceed with the case and what will be the outcome. So my advice would be that do the due diligence. Yeah, we have the trusted circle that we have around. We always call them, but the thing is, we should do our due diligence and then only call. I get calls, then I have to tell them that this is the law and how this applies to your situation. They just call out before doing the due diligence. So my advice would be, do the due diligence, then call. Yes, that's your client, and the client wants quick answer. So in order to cater to the clients, the thing is, you should do your due diligence and do the reading regularly. You have to be updated with everything, because immigration nowadays is very dynamic and it's changing every day. Policies are coming in, programs are changing. So we should do our due diligence every day and spend some time on reading every day. I do it every day for at least 30 minutes. After all the clients and everything, I always do the due diligence, what are the program updates, the reading part and everything. So yes, the due diligence is very important, and it would help you scale in your practice and become a better practitioner, to be honest.
Well, thank you, Sanjit. You've given us a plethora of advice, and I've written it down. Get out of your comfort zone, distinguish yourself, take the risk, do your research and due diligence, and spend some time reading every day to be
Yeah.
updated. So it's a nice collective piece of advice for practitioners to take back to their own practice. I want to thank you for your time today and for sharing your story and for telling us your struggles and how you're tackling them and your your notes that you have for others who are in the same position. Do you have any final words for your colleagues?
So I would reiterate that do the due diligence and do a lot of reading. People don't do that. It's a legal profession you are a part of, and reading is a must, because I have been in the legal system, whether in India or in Canada, for almost 13 years, and I have been reading a lot of books. So yeah, read it, and it would be beneficial for you. It's very difficult to read a book. I know that the laws and everything, they are very different, the words are different and everything, but with reading you will get used to it.
Yes, I agree with you. It's important to have that background and that perspective. And I guess my final caveat would be here is always within that framework. Remember, when you're dealing with when we're dealing with clients, that it's their lives that we have, and we have to do it with compassion and empathy and honesty. And we have to always put forth, our advocacy and ethics. We have to remember that and counsel our clients to that as well. So with that in mind and your final words, I think we've come to an end. So thank you, Sanchit.
Thank you, Monica, for giving me the opportunity.
It's been a pleasure. And thank you to our audience for listening today. And we hope that you enjoyed it, enjoyed getting to know Sanchit, and we'll see you at the next one.
Sure.
Take care.